Hi, this is Rahul for RevSportz, and today I've got a very special man. We don't see him on the pitch, but what he does on the behind the scene, it's immense effort that he gives for the team, and it shows clearly against Australia team. The team was superb defendingly, and today we are fortunate that we got him, and he will review the Australia game and also going forward in this tournament. He will share his thoughts for the upcoming tough game. So, coach, coming to the first question, 2-0 result. I think the boys will be a bit upset with the result that they lost. They are superb in the first half, but our country is very proud in the result. The result they haven't seen many times in the recent year. So, how is the mood in the camp after that game?
I think the mood in the camp's good. It's positive. We've got some fantastic, experienced players, young players with a lot of enthusiasm. Obviously, to lose, we're not going to be happy. But I think the way that the boys applied themselves, especially in that first half, it will give us a lot of confidence. I think we ran out of steam a little bit in the second half, and we admit that. We're not at the same levels as some of these players that play in Europe, and we've got to accept that. But when you talk about spirit, leaving everything on the pitch, the togetherness, the willingness to try and put your body in the way, the amount of blocks that we got in to stop shots on target and protect Gurpreet's goal, I think that shows the character of the men, and they're only a group of players. So we know what we're going to get from them. We'll try and be better in the next game against Uzbekistan. In possession, I think out of possession, we can't ask for much more from the boys. They give everything for the country, give everything for the shirt, and you can see that they're fighting to the last minute.
Absolutely. But there's another thing I have noticed that as you also joined not only as a deputy but also as a set piece specialist, our team has conceded 14 corners from Australia, but in 14 corners Australia couldn't manage to score a single goal. So are you satisfied with that stats?
Listen, the players deserve the credit. You look at Sandesh and the fearlessness that player has got. And all the defenders that were required. And we don't leave anyone up, or we haven't been leaving anyone up for corners against. And every player has got his role and his responsibility. And as a coaching staff, we can only give them the information. Mahesh, obviously the gaffer, myself, we put them in positions. They know their roles, but for the boys to take responsibility against a team, an Australian team, where at times we're giving a foot away in height. So for them to be nudging, putting the body in the way, blocking, and really putting the body on the line for the team to try and keep a clean sheet and successfully defend 14 set pieces, as well as all the crosses that went into the box. Absolutely proud of the boys, how they stood up to be counted like men, and we expect the same again. Out of possession and defending set pieces and crosses and corners, we expect the same. We just want a little bit more improvement in the possession, in the final third entries. We had a few, and we come close on a couple of occasions, maybe pick the wrong option at times as well. We need to try and improve on that, and that's what we're working on in the training pitch and then final third entries. But defensively, you couldn't ask for more of the players, and we expect the same in the next game.
That shows coach is really satisfied with the defensive performance. But on the contrasting picture, our team was not so good in the attack because we haven't managed a single corner from the game, and that shows whether we have went on the attack or not. Obviously, I can understand that against team like Australia would have gone in attack, would have considered 2 or more goals. But are you really happy with the transition of the Indian team after against Australia?
Listen, we can be better. As a coaching team, as a group of players, we're honest enough to know that we didn't have enough quality in possession. The levels, again, we talk about the Indian Super League and how relaxed and quite slow and methodical it is. Whereas when you play in Europe, you've got to be at it. The press is coming, and our boys are just finding it difficult to make that adjustment in the speed, to be able to build their moves from the back through the midfield to the front lines. It's something that we're working on, but we have a disadvantage because I think the levels of our leagues that our boys are playing in compared to the level of the leagues that the players, especially for Australia, that they're coming from. So we understand them differences, and that's why we can accept it a little bit against Australia. We expect more from our boys against Uzbekistan. We expect more from our boys against Syria, and we're working really hard on the training pitch to make sure that defensively we're exactly the same, putting everything on the line, but offensively we bring a little bit more to the table.
Yeah, really, and also that against Uzbekistan and Syria, they are not up to that top level in FIFA rankings. And also, I was watching the last night game between Uzbekistan and Syria. I guess Uzbekistan and Syria, despite being 91st ranked in the FIFA ranking, they also managed 7 or 8 quick penetration into their defense. So are you expecting that India's attack will be far better against Uzbekistan?
Listen, we want to be better for the next game anyway. That's just a normal process in the way we work. The players, like I mentioned earlier, are a very, very honest group of players, and they'll give everything for the team. But we can't look at Uzbekistan, we can't look at Syria in a lesser light than we look at Australia. We have got to be completely on our game, both defensively and offensively. We need improvements going forward because we need to get in more goal scoring opportunities. But that doesn't reflect the opposition we're playing against. That reflects ourselves, what we expect from ourselves and what we demand from ourselves as a coaching team and as a group of players. So we're going to be not taking anything for granted against Uzbekistan. We watched the game last night as well. We're going to analyse it even more. And then for the next game against Syria, that can wait because our next game is the most important. We're concentrating on Uzbekistan, how we can stop them creating opportunities against us and how we can be more successful in that final third, making more entries into that final third in good possession and making sure we're getting goal scoring opportunities.
You can see the coach want to go game by game. But coach, my last question and my second last is that do you believe, your boys believe that they can still make it to the next round?
Listen, that's a group of men in there. I mean, I didn't know much about how they were going to play and how they were going to deal with the Australian team. But they've already proved to me that they're a group of men. They take responsibility, they leave their bodies on the line and leave everything on the pitch. I'm confident that they're going to do that again because they've shown their personality. And if you look at a pattern, I'm seeing working in training every day, twice a day, working it day in, day out, really hard to improve themselves physically, technically, tactically, and with that comes a team spirit. They understand the support they've got from home, and it was immense in the stadium the other day. I was so proud for the boys with the support that the team got. We need that again, but certainly the boys are going into this next game not taking Uzbekistan lightly in any way, shape or form, but also wanting to improve offensively as a team, individually, and hopefully if we can do that, we can get the right result.
As you can see, coach is very pleased with the support of the Manjapur fans and the whole crowd that was there in the stadium, and I would urge you to come in more number in the next game. But coach, my last question, it's a very tactical one. As we have lost against Australia, in the Australian team list, if we see, except 4 or 5 players, most of the players play for abroad, for foreign clubs abroad, in Europe, Scotland, and all. And there is a moment when there is this question in every journalist's mind that why our guys are not going abroad and train themselves in such better infrastructure. So how important it will be for Indian player as well.
And listen, it's hugely important. And I spoke to Igor, the manager, on many occasions about players that we're asking to do certain things in games that have not probably had that heritage, coming through good academies, coming through international football as a youth player, and this is their first real experience into international football. It's a big ask for the boys. I think if we want to be serious about competing in the future, you have to invest into the youth, into the under 16s and 17s, 18s, go out around Europe, around the world, playing in tournaments, and then you'll start seeing players filter in on that pathway from them youth teams, the Indian national team, into the first team in a better condition with better opportunities to produce better performances for the national team.
That's a very insightful conversation. The coach believes, the player believes, and it clearly shows that we still have a chance to make it to the next round. So you guys stay with the Blue Tigers and stay tuned to RevSportz for more updates from the AFC Asian Cup.